Hi, I'm Jane Cundiff, and today I'm going to share with you some information about how to keep our bodies healthy. I've been studying biology and chemistry since I got my degrees at University of Florida about a million years ago. But for over 50 years, I've been teaching and still learning more and more about it. And it's so complex. But I boiled it down to a few basic things that are so important to keep in our minds when we try to stay healthy. And today I'm going to share a PowerPoint and some of that information with you. So let's share the screen with the PowerPoint. And we're going to be talking about the seeds of health. And so these seeds, S.E.E.D.S, stand for something. And I've set that apart so it's easier to remember all the things that we need to pay attention to when we're looking at our health. This recording is mostly for my basic biology classes at Radford University, but it's also for anybody who wants to learn about health. And every gardener knows that to have a healthy garden, we need to plant the right seeds. The same is true for our own health. So what do seeds stand for our health? And those S.E.E.D.S stands for sunshine, exercise, emotions, diet, and sleep. And those are all the very important things that we need to pay attention to if we want to want to stay healthy. We can't just choose any one of those and think, oh, we're okay as long as we eat our fruit, we're good to go. But everything else, our bodies are very complicated. So we have to pay attention to them. We evolved in nature, and we need nature with every breath we take. So try to hold your breath. How long can you hold it? Not too long. So we need that nature out there. We need our trees, we need the oxygen, and we need our fresh water that's clean, and we need our food that's healthy. And we know that our web of life is what we depend upon, and planting the right seeds is really important for a healthy, harmonious future. So what does that first S stand for in seeds? And the first one is sunshine. Do you want a sunny personality? Well, sunshine increases feel-good brain chemicals, the serotonin and dopamine. It improves brain function and the immune system. So if you watch any of your pets or animals, they love to spend time in the sun. Even on a hot day, they'll go out there for a little while and sit in the sunshine. Sunshine decreases melatonin, which you've ever bought sleeping pills. You know, melatonin makes us sleep, but that's a natural brain chemical. And in the dark, our body produces melatonin. So if you're inside of a dark house or a dark building all day long, or an office suite that's just not very bright, you're going to feel sleepy. And so getting as much sunshine, get out in the sunshine, or put a lot of lights in your room. They help, that will help to decrease melatonin and improve your brain function, make you more alert and able to do your job. And a vitamin, everybody knows you get vitamin D from sunshine. And so you can't wear sunscreen and get vitamin D. So you have to spend some time out in the sun without that sunscreen on. The vitamin D, you can take chemicals for it. You can take vitamins for it, but it's not as good and not as for your body as the natural vitamin D that's made from cholesterol in our skin. Human cholesterol is made from fats in our own diet, but not meat fats. Just our own body has our own fats. And we need that in our body. We need vitamin D for good cell metabolism, for calcium absorption and strong bones. We need it for cardiovascular support, and we especially need it for our immune system. So a lot of different diseases these days are happening because people are just not getting outside, not getting enough sunshine. If you're getting out at all, you're wearing too much sunscreen on, and most people are just flat not getting out. So we need that. It's related to all kinds of disease to not have vitamin D. So only use sunscreen when you have to. Fill your workroom with a very bright light so that you can feel much better. It won't improve your vitamin D, but it will certainly improve your energy levels and make you feel better and reduce depression. If you've ever been depressed at all in your life, you know it gets worse when you're in dark days, and people that get really depressed, end up wanting to close the curtains and go to bed, and makes it even worse. It's a snowball effect. So as much as possible, get yourself or your friends who get depressed outside in the sun. It will really help a lot. So seeds, S-E-E, the first one was sunshine, the second one is exercise. Of course, we all know we need exercise, but exercise is not best when you just like go to the gym 3 days a week or something. That's the kind of minimal and nice for social things and good for you. But it's better to exercise all day long, especially if you're outside. So get outside every time, every minute you can. Go out there and do whatever you can. Take a walk, especially go up and down the stairs or something, because cardiovascular exercise increases blood flow to your brain and to all the cells of your body, makes you feel a lot healthier. Remember that exercise means to exert yourself. So just walking is not really, shouldn't be too much of an exertion. So you need to go up and down those stairs or jog a little or do something to exert yourself, so that you should be breathing harder, getting that extra oxygen in, getting your blood flowing. Set a routine every day, do some little cardiovascular weights, just stand up, sit down, move around in the desk that you're sitting in, move and stretch and balance, stand on one foot as much as you can, strengthen and stretch all your muscles to improve your movement and reduce injury. So exercise, also work. Remember that. Get outside and do some work. That's really good for you. One of the things I love to do best is garden, because no matter what you do, if I get bored inside, as all I have to do is walk out the door, go down to the garden, and there is something to do out in the garden. There are weeds to pull, or new plants to put in, or things to harvest. There's always something wonderful to do. And then you're outside getting some sunshine, getting some exercise, and it really helps. Balance also is important. Doing things on one foot can improve your ankle strength. Dance around, stretch, move while sitting, move around in your chair while you're sitting. All of these things can help. If you're watching TV or even things like that, you can squeeze and do some exercise with your fingers in your face, but you can move, keep moving all day long. Work all your muscles, do sit-ups. You really need to strengthen your back and do a lot of sit-ups, side leg lifts, arm circles with weights and hands, and work, of course, gets a lot of those muscles. Eating leafy greens is also good to reduce joint pain and muscle inflammation, so that helps you get your exercise. The next E in SEEDS, S-E-E-D-S, is about emotions. And so emotions, attitude, laughter, and gratitude. Those are all really important. Our emotions are crazy important in keeping us healthy. The human body is really incredibly imaginative, and we get our mind into all these crazy places where we feel good or not good, or we go on a roller coaster ride to health or to illness if we're constantly, just delving into those bad emotions. We can get sick over them. And when you say I'm sick over something, be careful what you say. Just saying this makes me sick to hear this, or this makes me sick, well, that can actually make you sick. So be careful what you say. We can take the reins of our emotions. Whose emotions are they anyway? You can't affect anybody's emotions, really. It's all inside here. So those emotions are our emotions, and it can change our body chemistry. It is. If right now, if you think about what really makes you angry, your heart starts beating in a totally different way than if you can think about what really makes you happy and what really makes you loving. So you can change that instantaneously. It's up to you. It's your emotions. You can decide. So taking responsibility for our own emotions is really important in life. It's important for our attitude. It's important because we can't really change other people or the conditions that we're in sometimes, but we can change how we think and how we act and react. Choosing compassion and harmony is way more fun and healthier than anger or depression. Be kind to yourself and to others. It's our choice what our emotions are. So we have to accept that we're going to have some instinctive reactions of anger or sadness or those kinds of things. We all go through that, but you don't have to dwell on them, because you can change those with your own attitude. Nature is the best place to change those emotions and to get back in touch with yourself and with others. It really helps you to relieve stress. Our body knows that. We evolved in nature. We spend so much time out of nature, we forget how important it is. Especially just walking out there, running can get some of that stress out if, and some exercise as well. And gardening also as well, of course. And gardening is getting all that exercise in as well as focusing on something else and being more in tune with nature. So, getting out there can really help you take charge of your emotions. So again, that E is for emotions, attitude, laughter, and gratitude. So those are all really important in our life. Our emotional choices change our body chemistry. And if you really go into the depth of biochemistry, which I've done quite a bit, you can really see how that works. When you're feeling down or angry, take a walk and reevaluate, and you can really change the chemistry of your body. Also, helping others is really cool. It changes your body chemistry and it changes theirs too. When you're doing something for somebody else, it's actually doing a whole lot for yourself. And so, helping, volunteering, just helping your mom or your neighbor, something like that, is really good for all of us. So SEEDS, what's the D for? Well, of course, everybody knows diet is so important in keeping us healthy, but there's a lot of really bad information out there, a lot of politics around diet, a lot of fad diets, a lot of things everybody says, oh, I'm on this diet or I'm on that diet. Well, it's really, if you just look to nature, you're going to find a lot healthier diet. There are some things we can look to, some of the chemistry and what's happening. And you can remember this old food pyramid. Many of us grew up on this, in this old food pyramid where you've got a lot of bread and starch at the base of that food pyramid. That was actually designed at a time in the 1930s when people were starving and they knew that you needed calories to stay alive. And those calories, they said, well, you can get the most calories from not only your breads and your grains, but also from your meats. And so the diets that they recommended, well, you got to get out there and you got to eat a lot of bread and potatoes and meat in your diet. And so a lot of our diets are based on that because that was for when we really needed calories, and you would starve to death if you don't get those things. And so greens and veggies are wonderful, but they don't have very many calories. They're really important for nutrition, but the calories are low. But if you notice this new pyramid here that was put out, probably it's not really that new. It probably put out 15 years ago. They changed it, and you may or may not have seen this, but it's got grains and vegetables, fruits, and it's got milk and meat and beans. But the sections are misleading. So there's still a lot of politics involved in how our FDA and how our USDA says we should do things in life, and especially a lot of politics involved and basically consumerism involved in books that are put out there to sell. But if you look at this pyramid here, it's got some fine print at the bottom here. And by the way, this is the new healthy plate that they say is better, but really not all that great. So I'm going to give you a little more information that on this. And to read the fine print underneath that pyramid, if you notice, this is daily amount for a 2,000 calorie diet, which is pretty much average. But if you're taller or smaller or don't get much exercise or get a lot, yours is going to be a little different than this. But basically, for 2,000 calories a day, you should have only 6 ounces of grain. That's not very much at all. In fact, a cup is 8 ounces. And so if you're eating 2 pieces of bread or one bowl of cereal, that's enough grains for the entire day. So those don't need to be so high in our diet. And they're very important. Like I said, if you need to gain weight, eat a lot of grains. But if you're a little on the heavy side, which most of our diets are, it's because we're eating too many of not just the grains, but starches. So this should be starches. And so potatoes and grains should all be eaten. They're important to have some things in our diet, but not in great amounts. Vegetables, notice 2.5 cups. That's a lot of vegetables compared to the grains. That's way more vegetables than grains. And fruits, 2 cups. And so we've got 4.5 cups of fruits and vegetables and less than 1 cup of grain. So is our diet like that? Not most American diets. Milk. Now, milk is really controversial, and there's a lot of lobbyists out there that go for milk, but they've done a lot of research on milk lately, and it really passed. Mother's milk is really important for a newborn infant, but after that, we really don't need much milk in our diet, and it's actually linked to, and especially cheese is it's delicious, and we can have a little bit in our diet, but too much of it comes with too many pollutants. It's concentrated food in our diet, and it also too much of the milk can cause problems. And actually, it's a very poor source of calcium. Even though it's got a lot of calcium in it, our body does not digest it well. And there's better calcium in greens than there is in milk. Meat and beans, about the same amount as grains. We need a lot. We need some protein, and should have a little protein at every meal to help you feel full. So according to the figures, we need a small amount, 5.5 ounces of protein a day, 20 ounces of vegetables, and 16 ounces of fruit. So more than 3/4 of every single plate should be vegetables and fruit. So if we look at a plate, this is kind of what our plates, we should have plates all painted this way. And by the way, plates 100 years ago were 9 inches across, then they were 12 inches across, and now when you go out and buy plates, most of them are 14 inches across. Now, does that tell you why we tend to fill them up and eat way too much food? And we tend to fill our plates up with protein and whole grains instead of vegetables and fruit. So this is a plant-based. Most of our diet should be plant-based. It's much better for us and much better for the environment. So plant-based means that a lot of our protein should come from plants, and those plants should be beans, nuts, and seeds. So my diet on most every day, I'm not a total vegetarian or a total vegan, but my diet is is very plant-based. So I have, like, we do eat some eggs because we have our own chickens, but we have eggs maybe once a day or once every 2 days. And then we have beans, nuts, or seeds at other meals. And we have meat maybe once a week at the most on average, and a fish occasionally now and then. But basically, we're eating a lot of beans, nuts, and seeds. There's like 100 different kinds of beans, so you can get highly varied in that. But you can make a really plant-based diet and keep you very healthy. I'm pretty close to 70 years old, and I still have a lot of energy every day, and most of that is because of I follow my own advice in how to stay healthy. Again, milk is controversial. Calcium's easier to absorb from leafy greens. Also, beans and fruits and nuts have calcium in them. And don't forget the water. Our thirst response is often minimal, and even slight dehydration can cause headaches and low energy. So make sure you have some water. And the best water is right out of your own tap, filtered. If you need, most of the time we need to filter it, but filter it there. Bottled water is not very good either. Even the plastic bottles have chemicals in them that you don't want. So drink the water out of the tap with the filter. That's the best. So this is a more accurate, healthy pyramid, and you can see that the whole base of it is all vegetables, lots of leafy greens. So the very place, most of what you should be eating in your diet is a lot of leafy greens. You should have leafy greens in every single day, and you should have these other things in the amounts. Only a very tiny bit of, these should be treats, a sweet, a cheese, maybe once a day in tiny amounts, not very much, or once a week even. Fiber is really important in your diet, and you'll get a lot of those if you're eating a lot of your vegetables, and the beans and legumes have fibers. Meat does not have what we know as fibers. And fibers is a indigestible carbohydrate that is not found in meat. And so it's found mostly all in your vegetables and fruit. Eating locally grown food is way better for us. We know that it's better for us better for us and the environment. And also it means low processed. Don't eat all that processed food. We know that's not very good for us. Cravings. We all have lots of cravings. And why do we have that anyway? What's the point? Well, basically, it's an evolutionary response. We have cravings. Animals have cravings. And if we fed them from nature, those cravings would really help to keep us healthy. Our bodies evolved for millions of years craving foods that we needed. These foods were found in nature until we built factories. Processed foods taste good, but they lack the nutrition and make us keep on craving. Like, we know that if we eat just that one bit of candy, well, that won't feed our craving. We just cut it. And the more you eat that candy, it just doesn't make you stop craving it. But if you crave sweet, your body actually needs fruit. Your body says, give me that fruit because out of nature, that's the only place you really find sweet. And if you ate that nice, fresh, right off the true, right off the tree, sweet fruit, it really feels good to your body. And even dried fruit tastes and feels good to your body. And it actually will reduce the craving. I mean, how many fruits can you eat compared to how much candy you can eat? Fruits, you'll eat some, and especially the dried ones, a handful of them really fills you up, and it makes you feel and does make you a whole lot healthier than that candy does, or those donuts or those kinds of things. If you're craving salty, you need minerals and vitamins all found from veggies, and so you have to make sure you've got plenty of veggies in your diet, especially dark, colorful veggies. And if you're craving fats, you most likely need some healthy protein that comes with its own fats, like seeds, nuts, avocados. Those are healthy fats, and you need those in your diet. Feeding Feeding your cravings properly will satisfy your body and will keep you slim than feeding them with processed food. Okay, S.E.E.D.S. We've gone through sunshine, exercise, emotions, diet, and the last S is for sleep. We all know we need a good night's sleep. We need sunshine in the day that takes away the melatonin and darkness at night. Now, that makes melatonin. So, sunshine in the day, no caffeine after lunch. And of course, there's caffeine not only in sodas, but coffees and chocolate and all that caffeine. So, do that before lunch. No food before bed. Go to bed a little bit more hungry. So, probably should stop eating about 4 hours before you go to bed and relax before bedtime. Do something relaxing or listen to music or even read a relaxing story. But harrowing stories on TV or something that gets your blood rate going is not the best thing either. Make sure you sleep in darkness. It makes a difference in the chemistry of your body. So have it totally dark in your room. I used to, when I lived in big cities, have to put up really dark curtains to keep the light and the noise out. So that you could sleep better. If you have any night lights at all, it should be covered in red or a red light that helps to keep the melatonin from forming in your brain. Or the melatonin actually works in your brain at night when it is in the dark. Cool temps, of course, is better. So keep it fairly cool. No phones or computers anytime right before sleep. And of course, 7 to 8 hours of sleep is best. But your body will tell you if you feel sleepy, then you probably haven't gotten enough, or you can actually oversleep too, and that makes you feel sleepy. So find a routine that works for you, but especially a day of sunshine, exercise, good emotions, and good diet can almost guarantee good sleep. So work on those other ones and make sure that these are there, and you probably get good sleep. So, again, sunshine, exercise, emotions, diet, and sleep. To get all those, you should make new habits. Try a new thing today, just, one day at a time. Change your diet just a little bit, go outside just a little bit more, exercise, change everything you do daily. Remember that habits are best made 20 years ago or today, but tomorrow is definitely not it. So gardening is a great habit to get into because it gets you outside and gets a lot of these things. It gets your sunshine, exercise, emotions. You'll eat better if you're growing some of your own food, and you'll sleep better if you've been outside. So do those things. It can really make a difference in your life. We know that our body is part of the web of life with every single breath we take. So getting out into nature, preserving nature is so important for our own health. And we function best when we live in harmony with nature and each other. So remember our friends and relatives, spend a little time communicating. We are a social species, and it's important for us to be in harmony with those that we love. So plant only the best seeds in your life. Get good sunshine, exercise constantly all day long. Keep your emotions, be responsible, choose happiness over sadness. Get a good diet, lots of veggies and fruit, and get good sleep. And you'll find you not only will you be a lot healthier and happier, but when you're healthy and happy, the people around you feel better too. It actually is contagious to be happy. And so do it not just for yourself, but for others. Thank you for joining me. And I hope this was informative and helpful for you.